right, and we have Halle Kearns with us today. Halle, how's it going?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm not too bad. Thanks for taking the time tonight.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Where are you right now? You're not in Nashville right now, right?
I'm not. I'm home in Missouri, in Kansas City right now with my family.
Awesome. And that's where you're originally from, correct?
Yeah, I'm from Columbia, Missouri, just about 2 hours away from here, but I moved here when I was 18 and lived here for about 3 years.
Okay,
That's where all
awesome.
my family is now. So, yeah.
Nice. And do you get to go visit home often or?
This year I have really unexpectedly just because I didn't think that, that everything would be going down the way it did this year. So I've gotten to come home a lot more than I thought, which has been a huge blessing. And my little sister had a baby in September, so it's been great getting to watch him grow month by month, just getting to come home and watch the growth spurts happening.
Awesome. And I saw on Instagram the other day you had a little themed party going on.
Yeah,
Tell us
a
about the themed
party
party.
for sure. So my mom lives in California now, and she hasn't been able to come back out here since Christmas. So we did a really late February Christmas celebration, and every year we do Christmas themed pajamas, but she wanted to spice it up this year and said she wanted to get everyone animal onesies. And we went on Amazon and did some digging, and we found like the weirdest sea creatures. I was an anglerfish, really cute, really cute. And then we had like Luke and her, or sorry, my little sister Helena and her fiance and baby. They were all crustaceans. And then my mom was a orca whale. Like we had everything going on. It was super fun.
It was great. I saw your costume, and then like the next ones was like your whole family, and I'm like, yes,
Yeah.
that is unbelievable. I love it.
We were all so excited too. Everyone's like, yeah, this is the best one. We're gonna do this every single year now.
Like I said to you before, I think my family would be like, I don't think so. Not
Yeah,
happening. Yeah,
yeah. We're all a bunch of dorks, so we
that's
loved
too
it.
that's too awesome. How's the quarantine life been, especially like in Nashville? Because I think things are like more open there than they are here.
Yeah, probably. Nashville's been pretty lax, honestly. But I've been staying home a decent amount and just trying to, be safe and everything. But I've stayed super busy and there's not a lot I can't do via the internet and, online and all that. So I, it's been pretty normal in my world, honestly.
That's good. What do you find your
Yeah.
biggest struggle has been during the pandemic?
I would say probably just missing that human connection as generic as that sounds. I just miss, the hugs and the getting to go out. I'm a very social person. I'm very extroverted and get fueled up by being around other people. So definitely miss that aspect of things.
Awesome. And what are your go-to quarantine snacks?
Oh my gosh, anything and everything that's in front of me. It's been
I'm
like
with you on that one.
the first half of quarantine, it was like anything I wasn't eating before quarantine, like any kind of like dairy, all the cheese in the world. And this back half of quarantine, I've been trying to eat better and stuff. So a lot of smoothie bowls and just um, lots of healthy food in general with my other roommate who's trying to keep me accountable. And it's like, yeah, it's been rough for both of us.
Love it. And
Yeah.
all right, so now tell us a little bit about yourself and kind of how your music journey began.
Sure. So I started playing guitar when I was about 13 years old. And that's when I really just fell in love with it. I've been listening to country music since I was in a car seat, as long as I can remember. That is the genre that I always lean towards and that I grew up listening to. And so whenever I started playing music, that's just naturally what came out and that's how I fell into it. But at about 16, 17, those years right before you start deciding on colleges and those next steps in life, my dad and I had a conversation like, okay, what do you think's next? Like next year you graduate, what's going on? And I just told him like the thing I love more than anything in this world is music. I just want to be making music for the rest of my life. I want to create, I want to get on the road, I want to tour, I want to do all of the things. And he's like, okay, how do you do that? And I just told him I have absolutely no idea, but let's figure it out and it's gonna be a lot of fun. So uh he's been on board ever since then, and I just moved to Kansas City right whenever I graduated because my family waited till I graduated since Columbia was all I knew. Then they all moved to Kansas City for job reasons and everything, and I followed. And it was a really great stepping stone for me between Columbia and Nashville because it's a little bigger city. I've only known Columbia my entire life. It was a good way for me to break away from the things I was super familiar with and dive into my artistry and all that kind of stuff. So I played about 300 shows while I was in Kansas City for the 3.5, 4 years I was here, and then moved to Nashville in March of 2019. It's coming up on 2 years now, and just really focused on the songwriting component of things because that's not something I was super sure in as far as where I wanted to go and what I wanted to say as an artist. So I took the first like year really honing in on that and just figuring out what I wasn't so that way I could fall into what I was. And yeah, now we're here. July 2020 hit and released my first single and then kept them rolling out in December. The first EP came out.
Love it. And
Yeah, sorry, that was a lot, but
yeah, no, it's great. And you're okay. Let's talk about this EP because you've had
yeah.
great amount of success with it. It reached number 5 in the UK iTunes
hmm
charts, number 7 in the US, and it's reached over 1 million streams now, which
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
unreal. Like, congrats on that because that's
Thank you so
big.
much.
That's unbelievable.
Thanks.
So, tell us about the EP and kind of how it all came about.
Sure. Like I said, I really spent a lot of time writing and just trying to figure out what I wanted to say. And I feel like this EP is such a good introduction into who I am, not only as an artist, but as a person. I never wanted those two to be confused. I wanted them to be extremely interchangeable. If someone's listening to my music and they hear me as an artist, I want them to feel like they know me better as a person too. And I feel like that's kind of what country music's all about. You know, it's just about that point of relation. And this EP was kind of just a way to be like, hey, here's my furthest left. Here's like my party side. Like, let's have fun. Let's forget about our worries. And then here's like the things that mean the most to me and everything in between. And it just felt like, and not only in lyrics, but in production and everything like that. So I thought it was a good first 5 songs to kind of be like, hey, world, this is what I'm trying to do. And this is who I am. And we're just going to keep it going from there and keep the songs coming out this year, which I'm super stoked about.
Perfect. Yeah, no, it all sounds great. So keep it up because it's
Thank you.
wonderful. You also have a couple music videos with a couple singles. Can we
hmm
expect, are you planning to do music videos for all the singles, or what do you got coming out next?
I personally love making any kind of visual component to go with the songs because I think it kind of brings another life to it. So ideally, in a perfect world, I would love to make a music video for every single I release. And that's kind of the way it's worked out so far. Even I Drink Whiskey, it didn't have an official music video, but we did an acoustic live performance video, and then we also did the I Drink Whiskey carpool karaoke lyric video kind of thing. So I think there's always going to be some kind of video attached. And even before he could, it's the only song of the 5 that didn't have a video yet attached to it. And I just announced today that on this coming Thursday, it will be there will be a little live session acoustic video for it too. So
Yeah,
yeah, that's kind of
I think by the time this is out, it'll be out.
oh beautiful. Yeah,
So go check it out. I'll make
go
sure
watch that.
the link down below. Perfect. And so let's talk about your songwriting now. Where do you get your inspiration from?
Oh, anything and everything. It's always a hard question for me because I can just anyone around me. I always like my songs to be true to me. I can write a song about hypothetical situations all day long, but when it comes to songs that I'm willing to release and put out in the world, I want them to be my story or something I really believe in. So even if it's like a party, let's go like have fun song, I want it to be something that I would actually say in a conversation and something I would actually do. Um, and especially when I'm sharing like the more intimate sides of my story, I always want it to be something that's really authentic. So that's really where I pull from. If it's not a story I've experienced firsthand or experienced through someone else's experience, like I have a friend going through something or a family member, then it's tough for me to get in that mindset and write about it.
Okay. And what would you say your weirdest, most awkward way you've come up with a song is?
The most awkward way I've come up with one?
Yeah, like what's the weirdest moment?
I got it. Like it just immediately pops into my head. Like I think I would try to find the second most embarrassing. That way I could like share that story instead. But
Okay.
this one's just screaming at me, so I can't ignore it.
Okay.
This is horribly tragic. So before I'd even moved to Nashville, I was taking trips and just trying to get my feet wet a little bit and build a community there. And I had my first write with this guy. His name's Sam Barger. I hope he doesn't mind me saying his name on air, but on air, whatever, you know what I'm saying. But he's a great dude. But I had my first write one-on-one with him. I think it was our first write maybe ever. And I had just realized that my relationship I was currently in was going to be ended soon. Like I kind of had that realization, like, oh, I need to break up with him. And cared about this guy so much. He was a wonderful person, and it just broke my heart to know I was going to have to break his heart. And the night before I went into this write, I realized that that was what's happening. And so the next morning I show up, I go to this write, and I'm like, Sam, I don't know what you're wanting to write about today, but he goes, oh no, what's going on, darling? And I start sobbing. I'm like 19 years old, just crying my eyes out on his couch. Barely know this kid, like hardly know him at all. And I could not stop. I was so embarrassed. And it was almost like being that embarrassed made me cry harder. I cried the entire way through like the 2.5 hour write. And we got wrote a song out of it. I can't remember what it's called anymore, but it was more of just like a therapy session. I'm just sobbing to this kid, and he's typing away, writing down everything I'm saying.
As you're talking, he's like,
Yeah,
what?
he's, oh, this is gold. Keep going, keep
Yeah,
going.
keep going,
And
keep
I'm,
going.
yeah. And I just cried and cried, and I was like, that is horribly embarrassing. And he's like, do you want me to grab some like whiskey? It's like 11 a.m., like poured in my coffee. I'm like, no, I just need to cry. So yeah, that was definitely a more interesting way that I've written a song.
Awesome. And so you've done some co-writing. I
Yes.
know, I believe you've done some co-writing with Spencer Crandall, which we know Spencer as
Yes.
on here. What song did you write, and how was that experience? Like, how did that come about as well?
He is one of my greatest friends in town. I love that dude to absolute pieces. But we wrote Pick Me Up on the album. It was the first single released in July. And I actually have another one coming out with him this year. It's called Already Mine. And I haven't announced anything about it yet, but him and I wrote that song too. And another guy, Trevor Martin. And that'll be coming out again. But we write really well together. We just have a blast. And he's an absolute dork. And I kind of am too. So we just have a lot of fun
Yep.
goofing
No,
around. And
he's
yeah.
great. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure you got to feel for his personality when you're,
Oh,
you're
for
talking
sure,
to him.
yeah.
He's a hoot. Yeah.
What is your favorite thing about co-writing with other artists?
I would definitely just say it challenges you, and it pushes you so much further outside your comfort zone than you can do by yourself. And I just love the whole collaborative effort. It just is a cool thing to be able to have a certain idea in your head in a certain direction, and then someone completely throw that for a loop and offer something else up, and it could be so much better than your original idea, or just push you into a place where like, oh, maybe not that, but it actually brought up this idea. And I don't know, it's a really fun way to get to know other people too. You always get closer after a write.
For sure. Okay, so with the success of this EP, what's next? What's next for you?
I am currently in the studio, which is very exciting. I'm obviously not right this second. I'm in Missouri, but I'm in some early phases of studio work right now, which I'm super excited about. And I'm ready to just keep this thing rolling and keep releasing more music over this year. Hopefully, things open up enough to get me back on the road and playing shows again. But in the meantime, lots of online stuff and lots of digital content just to keep it all going.
Perfect. And do you have any like live shows online coming up at all, or?
I do. I need to make like a place you can go and see the list of all of them, but I'm constantly announcing new things coming up, and lots of Facebook lives, lots of Instagram lives, TikTok, all that kind of stuff. But it's just like a day-to-day thing right now.
Perfect. Following that, for those who don't know, tell everyone where they can find you on social media.
Yeah, perfect. My website's just hallekearns.com, just my name, and then pretty much on every single social media platform, it's just Halle Kearns at Halle Kearns.
Perfect. All right, Halle. Well, this was fun. Thanks so much for
This was fun. Thank you so much. I just told you my entire life story in like 10 minutes. Just
Absolutely.
squeezed it in there.
Great. And we got a little advice that you got another song coming out with Spencer.
Yes, sneak peek, right?
Here first.
You really did, yeah.
All right.
Thank you so much for having me, Cody.
Thanks so much, and everyone go get her EP finally. It's on all platforms, and we'll talk soon.
Beautiful.
Awesome.
Thank you.